this is not a one size fits all. It's very, very different depending on where your property sits, how close it is to different types of areas, and it is not included in your basic homeowners form, basic being the key word there.
Hey folks, Stewart here with eXp Realty out of Rome, New York, serving you right here in the Mohawk Valley. I'm joined again today by Stephen Turnbull from Turnbull Insurance Services out of New Hartford. Stephen, what's going on?
How are you, Cameron?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much. It's good to be doing this our second video today. We're trying to crunch some time here to for our schedules. But folks, today we're going to be talking a little bit about flood insurance, okay? And it's really hard to go in depth with flood insurance, but Stephen's going to tell you how to get a hold of him at the end of the video, just in case you have some specific questions for him about a property or your property. So Stephen, let's start with this. Is flood insurance included in a normal homeowner's insurance policy?
So the basic answer there is no, and the key to your question is a normal homeowners insurance policy. So backing up a little bit, we did a couple videos in the previous series here about homeowners insurance, what it covers. Your homeowners insurance policy is covering your personal property, the dwelling itself, the liability. There is no flood insurance on those policies, especially if you are in a flood zone. And now I just want to back up. Recently, companies have been putting out what they call limited flood insurance for folks that are not in a flood zone, but maybe there's a crazy storm that maybe there was some small flooding or something like that. There are
like
stuff like that.
Years ago, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and due to that is when these companies came out with that. But those are for folks that are not in a flood zone, so that are just trying to transfer more risk to the company. Be cautious and be careful on that end. Backing up to what we're talking about today, flood insurance and homeowners insurance, the homeowners insurance policies and flood insurance policies are two completely separate things. Not to get too far ahead of your questions here, but you would know if you were in a flood zone based on your realtor. The realtor selling the home would have to advertise it. Your attorneys can do some work on that, and they're going to give you a different type of zone. So there's different types of zones that you're in. There's zone X, zone Y. There's different flood zones that you're in that are based on these mappings that'll determine different things when it comes to flood insurance. So long answer or short answer long there, that this is not a one size fits all. It's very, very different depending on where your property sits, how close it is to different types of areas, and it is not included in your basic homeowners form, basic being the key word there.
Absolutely. And folks, the floodplains are, they change, okay? We see different years and different, seasons, places flood that have never flooded before. Obviously down here in the Whitesboro area, we get a lot of flooding out, West Canada Creek 2 years ago, I think it was, out there. We know the challenges Herkimer and Mohawk and places in the valley face, but they're always changing. So unfortunately, we can't really go too in depth with flood insurance here because every situation is different. But if you have a specific question about flood insurance or anything homeowners insurance, and you want to reach out to Stephen, he's about to tell you exactly how to get a hold of him.
And yeah, so one more thing, Cameron, to wrap this up on the flood insurance. Most of the time is the flood insurance, the banks are going to look for the flood insurance on your loan amount. So we talked about the replacement cost of the house and all of that, but most of the times when flood insurance, nobody wants to buy it because it's never going to happen to me. And it's just a requirement that the bank's going to get, right? So they're looking really at the loan amount you're covering. You're covering that loan amount, and then you can choose to cover a certain amount of personal property, whereas the homeowner's policy gives you that percentage that we talked about in our previous videos. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out our previous videos on that personal property amount. But yeah, you can reach us here at Turnbull Insurance with any questions about any of this at all. Our phone number is 315-735-9201 on all social media platforms at Turnbull Insurance and turnbull-insurance.com.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephen. And folks, if you have any questions about real estate here in the Mohawk Valley, here in the Utica, Rome area, feel free to give me a call at 315-351-2765. I will return your call, I promise. I'll probably answer it when you call. Or you can log on to www.homesbycameron.com. Stephen, thank you once again. And folks, stay tuned because we're doing more videos today. They're going to be coming out in the coming weeks.